Welcome everybody, how are you? Now we'll complete in this video all examples about absolute max and absolute minimum about function. Look at here about this function. F of x equal ln of x power 2 plus x plus 1. We want to find absolute max and absolute minimum on interval -1 to 1. Okay, first we want to find derivative about this function. The derivative about the ln of any function, we can write this function here in denominator, x power 2 plus x plus 1, and derivative about this function will be 2x plus 1. Okay, and set this function equals 0. Look at the denominator here, we haven't any critical number about denominator because we can't factorize this here. And then if we do the product of extremes equals the product of means about this expression, we can write 2x plus 1 equals 0, and then x equal -1 over 2. We can move 1 from left hand side to right hand side and divide it by 2. Then x equal -2 belonging to this interval. So we can find f of -1 and f of 1 and f of -half to find critical, to find what absolute max and absolute value of absolute max and a value of absolute minimum. You can use a calculator to find the result about this. Then it's meaning logarithmic about e. Okay, we can use a calculator to find the result about all this result. It's okay, it's the result about using calculator. Now we can find absolute max, such that max here will be 1.1, such that f of 1 equal 1.1, and absolute out minimum, such that f of -half, okay, -half, the result will be 0.24. Another example, to find absolute max and absolute minimum about this function. F of x equal x subtract 2 tan power -1 of x on interval 0 and 4. Look at here, f of x equal x subtract 2 multiply tan power -1 of x. It's a function. To find critical number, we must find interval. We can find derivative of this function. Okay, f dash of x equal, we can write derivative about x will be 1. We can drop this power here, the result will be 2, and derivative about this function. Can you tell me about derivative about this function or not? We know derivative about this function will be 1 over 1 plus x power 2. We can using the inverse, is the inverse of function. Can you remember this rule or not? We can write derivative about 10 power -1 of x, it will be 1 over 1 plus x power 2. You must keep in mind about this rule. Derivative about inverse about 10 equal 1 over 1 plus x power 2. And we can find the result. We can put this function equals 0. Then we can move this term by left hand side to right hand side. The result will be 1 equal 2 over 1 plus x power 2, and we can drop the product of extremes equal product of means. Then 1 plus x power 2 equal 2, and then x power 2 will be equal 1, and then equal what, x equal positive or negative square root of 1, then x equal 1 or -1, but -1 not belonging to this interval, so x will be +1 only. -1 not have a solution, not belonging to the interval 0 and 4. Okay, and don't forget 1 plus x power 2 in denominator, so we must find critical number about 1 plus x power 2 equals 0. The result will be x power 2 equal -1. If we do the square root, see, impossible, has no result, real solution. Okay, so x has no real solution. It's okay. So we can find f of 0 and f of 4 and f of 1 only, okay, to find the absolute value and absolute minimum about this function. So f of 0 we can find the result, and f of 4 and f of 1 you can use calculator to find the result. Okay, it's the result of using calculator. So we have max absolute here. So max, absolute max, such that if 4 equal 1.53 and absolute minimum 1 here, absolute minimum. It's okay or not? Another example. In this example we want to find critical number. We have two term here, term and expression. We must keep in your mind the properties about multiplication about two term. We can keep here multiply derivative about the second, and we can write the second multiply derivative about first. Okay, write with me f dash of x equal, we can write the first here, x power 4 over 5. Okay, multiply by derivative of this function will be x subtracted by 4, and we can drop the power outside here, subtract by 1, plus we can write x subtracted by 4 power 2 multiply derivative about x power 4 over 5. We can drop the power here and subtract 1 from this power. The result will be 4 over 5, drop it here, and subtract 1 from 4 over 5. 4 over 5 subtracted by 1 equal negative 1 over 5. Okay, it's the derivative of this function, and then set this function equals 0. You can simplify it. We have x power negative 1 over 5, and here x power 4 over 5. You can write this expression, x power x minus 4 outside here. Is this expression all equal 0 to find critical number? So we can write here 2x power 4 over 5 multiplied by x minus 4 plus 4 over 5 multiply x subtracted by 4 power 2 multiply by x power negative 1 over 5 all 0. We know this term must write in denominator, and we can write x subtract by 4 outside, or you can find coefficient between two terms here. Look at here, we can write 2 and x subtract by 4 and x power negative 1 over 5. The result here will be x power 5 over 5 plus 5 over 5 subtract 1 over 5 equal 4 over 5. So we can write x only here, x power 5 over 5 equal 1. Okay, plus 4 divided by 2 equal 2. We can write 2 over 5 and write x subtract by 4 divided this expression. The result will be here, and we can write outside here this all term will be equal 0, and we can write this expression equal 0. It's meaning 2 multiply x subtract by 4 over x power 1 over 5 equals 0, and here x plus 2 over 5 multiply x subtract by 4 equal 0. We can factorize or can simplify this expression, but in this example we know this expression will be x equal 4. X will be equal 4, it's critical number, and x equals 0 because x in denominator, x equals 0, it's a critical number. We have 4 and 0, and here we can simplify it. X plus 2 over 5 multiply by x subtract 4 multiply 2 over 5 equal 8 over x over 5 equals 0. X, it's meaning 5 over 5 plus 2 over 5 equals 7 over 5x equal, we can move the 8 over x with 8 over 5 from left hand side to right hand side, and then invert the sign here, 8 over 5, and we cancel this. Then x will be 8 over 7. It's a critical number here, and x equal 4 and x equal 0. All this value of critical number. Okay, all the digits, the critical number. So the critical number will be 4 and 0 and 8 over 7. Okay, it's a critical number of this function. We want to find critical number of this function only. Okay.